Hey guys, Aaron with bushhoggingservices.com. Wanted to do a video on marketing that I've done to this point. And this is a part-time business, so my requirements and technique and effort may be different than what you need to be doing, but I have found some reasonable success early on with a couple of these activities, and I'm staying busy enough that I'm not looking for more work. I've got a full-time other job, so I just wanted to share some of those things. And one of the very first things that you'll notice is I've actually done 2 other videos on this trip. So this is my 3rd video on this drive, and the question is, who cares or why? Because when you're in business for yourself, you've always got to be thinking about, how can I use my time effectively? Time is money, right? And if you don't have that mindset from the very first day that you get into this type of work, then you're going to shortchange yourself. You're going to underbid jobs. You're going to take a job or price a job out of desperation. And at the end of the day, if there's no strategic value in doing that, then you are going to run yourself out of business. You're going to get bad service. You're going to ruin relationships. You may be working for people at church, and then you can't fulfill your obligations, and then you've got to see those people every week, et cetera, et cetera. So, develop the mindset that time is money. And when you're driving, no one's paying you to drive in most cases. I'm not getting paid to drive up here to go talk to prospects today. I'm investing the money to come up here because I want to establish relationships and look at pricing jobs and winning some business that I may pick up in the next month. So this is an investment of time. Now, just because I'm coming up here doesn't mean I'm not going to try to work and earn some money. I at least want to be able to break even on my day, so I'm going to come up here and do some cutting as well. So with that mindset, you have to think about, how do I get my business to a place where I can start to have more consistent income? And as a business like this, you're not going to start with 10 tractors and a bunch of batwing mowers and some forestry mulchers and things like that. This is the type of business you start because you have a tractor and you have some property, somebody asks you to do something, and then you slowly grow into doing this as a business. One of the things that I have noticed in simply calling other businesses in the area to understand what services they offer and what price points they may have and things like that, studying the competition, is the fact that a lot of them don't even answer their phone. So step 1 in marketing is answer your phone, or get someone to answer your phone. And if you miss a call, return a call in a timely manner. And because in most of these cases you're dealing with individual citizens, you can call them after hours. They're around. So be professional in answering the phone and how you answer the phone, what you say when you're on the phone, how you communicate, and in your response. That is marketing. When people have gone to the effort of reaching out to you and you blow it because your phone doesn't work, or you don't get back to people in 3 days, or you don't speak English with or even Spanish with good grammar, it just reflects poorly. So you've ruined an opportunity that was very hard for you to get there. So don't blow it after somebody has already reached out to you. And the impression that you're giving is you're projecting yourself and your business on to this person. So in fact, you are marketing the quality and professionalism of your service. So don't ever forget that. It's not just a sign somewhere. It's not just advertising somewhere. It is how you project yourself. It is showing up looking good, looking professional, not like you just rolled out of bed. Your first impression is a marketing tool that you need to be aware of. And part of the things, one of the other things I'm going to do is I'm going to get one of those bright yellow jackets with reflectors on it. Do I need it? No, because I'm not working at night. But it looks the part, and it looks professional, and it looks like I know what I'm doing. The next guy's going to show up in jeans with holes in them and a dirty T-shirt. Guess what? I'll probably win 3 out of 4 of those opportunities. So that's important, and it's kind of something that a lot of people don't think about. The other thing, or some other activities that I've been engaged in, is road signs, and I have been very pleasantly surprised at the effectiveness of road signs. How effective they are in your area is probably going to vary based on the competition levels. I'm working in a rural county, and there's only, there's major arteries that cut through, so I'm able to put road signs at the intersections in the rural areas. And people that have 5 acres don't necessarily want to own a $30,000 or $50,000 tractor, right? So you've got opportunities to go make a couple $100 off those folks. And the way I started was, I looked at where I am, and I said, well, how far do I want to go? And what's more profitable for me is to do more business around, my hub, where I store the equipment. And then it's less profitable the farther I get out. So how do I want to structure my marketing to drive profitable business versus driving more business that has a lower margin? And when you're pricing your jobs, you really need to be thinking about that. If you've got to drive 2 hours to execute a job, then you need to be billing for those hours and understand that, if you have a job, it may be smaller and pay less, but it may be 15 minutes up the road, you're going to make more money doing that job than you are doing one that's 2 hours away. So, plan your marketing effectively around profitable business, and then also, the target customer in that market segment that you are doing your marketing. So, if you were to look at our property where we store the equipment, drawing concentric circles out and farther out means that you're going to see more road signs near where the equipment is stored and far fewer out on the fringes. And Amazon, I got 100 signs on Amazon printed one side with wire stands for $200. I got them in like a week. And my goal is to carry 5 of them with me at all times. And then as I go past certain points, I see if my signs are still there. If they're not, I replace them. If they are, then I try to put them out someplace else. Now, keep in mind, your sign is also visible to your local government, so you need to make sure that your business is registered and that you are on the uppity up, because they may very well call you and bait you in to see who you are, what you're doing, if you're licensed and insured in their area. If the answer is no, then they may bust you just because you've been doing advertising. So that's part of getting your business established, and you'll get some leeway in there, but at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you get those business infrastructure things set up. So road signs is number 2. First impressions, appearance and answering the phone. Number 2 is road signs. And number 3 is obviously networking, looking at your neighborhood and your neighbors. That's how I got started. I do most of my work for the neighbors. Our property is in the middle of a hunting area, and a lot of the neighbors haven't had anybody around to cut their fields and their roads and things like that for a while. So I had a pent-up inventory of opportunity within tractor driving distance of our place, which has been great and fortunate. It's not going to be the case for everybody by any stretch of the imagination. So you need to think about what is your situation and how do you make contacts locally. And I would get to every feed store with my business cards and put them out. Every lawnmower store where the lawnmowers aren't going to be sufficient, they need something bigger and heavier. Your tractor supplier, your dealer, if you've got a good relationship. Outdoor equipment, deer cleaning, deer processing businesses, local breakfast restaurants, things like that where people are going to frequent. And get your cards out and try to get some signs out in the area if you can do it without upsetting a bunch of folks. So that is, it's networking. It's using the resources near you. Obviously, you've got church and business groups and things like that you can go to, but you got to, kind of think about what's going to work best for you. So network with your neighbors, and then network with other businesses. If a guy's got a rock business, he can't lay rock until the land's cleared. So it is mutually beneficial for him to have a relationship with you and you with him. Once you get it cleared, you can refer him some additional business, and the landowner is going to be happier because the road is going to be basically a one-stop shop, because you can handle contracting with the other businesses to get their things done. It makes it easier on them, and you get to add a margin to the rock that gets delivered. So maybe it's a 10-20% margin on top of the cost of the rock, just because they asked you to do it, and people will pay for that convenience. So establishing and networking with other trades in the area is a really good way to find some new business. As you get farther out from your center point, what you want to do is start looking at online means, because everybody is going to, not everybody, but a lot of people will immediately go online, especially if they don't see a sign, right? How do I find somebody in my area? So they're going to go online, they're going to do a search, whether on Google or Bing or wherever, and they're going to see who comes up in the area. I went on there to look for a rock, and the first thing I did was I went to Google Maps, and I typed in my search criteria, and I saw all the companies come up on the map that Google said were in that area. So then I started clicking on them and calling them. Well, how do you get yourself on the map is through Google My Business. And you have to register your business, you have to have a Gmail account, and you go in there and you basically say, hey, I'm in business, this is what I do, here's some pictures of my work or some video, here's the description, how people get a hold of you. And then what they're going to do is they're going to mail you a postcard that has a code on it, and that code has to be entered back into the website. That way they know the address that you are entering is legitimate, and you're just not putting an address into an area where you want to do business but you actually don't have any real estate, or you don't have an address or a footprint in that market. So in the area that I operate, our property is actually on a hunting road, and there is no mail delivery. It's got a gate at the very beginning, and there's no post office boxes or whatever there. So I've got to stop at the post office today, and I'm going to go in there and I'm going to open up a P.O. box, and I'm going to use that P.O. box to give to Google, which is right in the middle of the area that I operate, and I'm going to have that postcard mailed to me at that address. And then once I do that and verify it, Google says, hey, we think you're there, that's the best we can do, so we're going to start putting your business on the map for those services. So when people do a search for bush hogging in your area, that your business is going to come up. And you need to keep that listing up to date with business hours, but also, it has like a little message board where you can post things. Once a week, you should put a little update on there to let people see that you're still active. Add pictures of your jobs, link to your videos on YouTube and things like that. And you'll be surprised at how many people see that, because other people aren't doing that, or they aren't keeping their listings up to date, and they're not getting reviews. And reviews are hugely important. Every job that you do, once you get your Google My Business established, you should be sending those customers a link to give you a review. So it's important to make sure that they're happy, but I guarantee you, and this is just known, you can go do the research, but if there are 3 businesses listed in the same general area, and one of them's got 5 stars and everybody else has got 2, you're getting all the calls, right? It's just going to be that way. People don't know you, so they want the reassurance of somebody else's experience with you to make sure that they're getting quality work. So get the Google reviews, get those star reviews. If somebody comments on a review, be sure you respond and have that online presence. And you do the same thing in Bing and Microsoft. I forget what they call it on their side, but it's essentially the same thing, same process. And get on their map too. So being listed online as a registered business is another way of getting yourself out there. Social media, obviously, Facebook, joining groups is a good way. I don't know that Twitter is the right solution for bush hogging business, but certainly Facebook, where you can go in and you can go to Tampa Yard Sale Group.com or Tampa Yard Sale Group, or Levy County Yard Sale, or what's happening in Levy County or Pasco County, those types of things. And you'll find groups all over the place. They have a couple thousand members, and a lot of times they allow you to actually advertise your business in there as long as you don't overdo it, right? So you go get a good video going, and post it up to there, and you do that once a week, and the people that visit that group get alerted when more information is posted to that group. They can see your video, and eventually they become aware of the ad. They may not remember your business, but they become aware of the ad. Like, hey, I saw this guy in that group. Let me go back to that group now that I know that I need my field cut, and they start looking you up. So, and when you're posting to social media, use the hashtag. The hashtag is the £, right? And then 1 or 2 words without any spaces that indicate what the post is about. So if your post is about bush hogging, at the end of that post you put hashtag bush hogging without any spaces. Anybody that's searching online for bush hogging or tractor services or brush cutting, your return or your post is going to come up in those returns along with everybody else that has done something similar. You want 3, 4, 5 hashtags on each of your posts. So social media is another way, and in social media, videos are way better than picture ads, and picture ads are way better than just straight text ads. Text ads don't get any eyeballs. Put something on there interesting, like the spinning blades on your bush hog, or you cutting a field, or some kind of motion. And if the video's, let's say 30 to 60 seconds, that's all you need. Showing people doing something is what's going to attract attention. It's going to get their eyeballs to focus on your ad and make it memorable. Get a good logo, impose it upon the video. Make sure that your website is on there. And speaking of websites, if you don't have a website, you should definitely get a website. It just indicates professionalism. Once you understand how a website works, and if you apply a website theme, having a website's really an easy thing to manage and upkeep and make changes to. I know it's a lot of rocket science, perceived rocket science for people that don't understand, but if I had to recommend something to you, I would say, number 1, get a WordPress website, and number 2 is get a theme like Elegant Themes or Divi Theme installed on WordPress. WordPress is like the bones and the infrastructure of a website, and then a theme is like a puzzle where you just you plop an image in here, you replace some of the text, they build the actual page layout, and then you just replace things on that page, and you can move things around, you can swap images, add videos, contact forms, all that kind of stuff, and it literally could take you a weekend to do a 2 or 3 page website and be good to go. Most people get confused or struggle with the hosting part, and if you go to a website provider like Wix, they own you for life. So I don't recommend going in and doing something like that. If you use WordPress and you're unhappy with your provider, this is a question to ask. Hey, if I no longer want to host with you, can I move my site to someplace else? And if it's WordPress, they can zip it up and send it someplace else. And then the second question is, if the answer is yes, how much is it going to cost? Because people don't work for free, and you shouldn't either. But you should know that you can get it done, and there really shouldn't be like a 3-year contract on a website hosting. I mean, there's too many people that host websites to settle for being tied into a contract for a web platform, unless they're providing some kind of ongoing service for you, like they're going to set the whole thing up, and then part of that is a 1-year commitment at X amount of dollars per month for that period of time. Then they're getting something in return for the service they've provided, so you can go do something else. But if you're going to do it yourself, which is totally possible, then it's you don't want to be in a contract where you don't have the flexibility of moving, because eventually you're probably going to want to move if you're not getting a good deal. If you message me down in the comments, then I'll see if I can help you with some ideas on what you may want to do to get a WordPress instance. WordPress is the biggest website framework in the world. You can go online and study videos until you're old and gray to learn how to use WordPress. And then Divi Theme, adding a Divi theme is really no big deal. They've got a ton of videos as well as help, but that makes you independent and self-sufficient, which is really a part of not being wrangled by other businesses that take advantage of the fact that you may not necessarily know too much about what you're getting into. So getting a good web presence is important, and keeping that up to date and adding videos. The next thing is YouTube. I'm doing it right now. You're watching, and I'm generating content during a time that would normally I'd just be listening to the radio. And with that, YouTube is what you can take those YouTube videos, you use them on your website. You can take the YouTube videos and you can post them to social media. You can upload your video straight to social media, but why not put it on a YouTube page and share information with others? We're all kind of in this together. Yeah, we're competing in some respects if you happen to be in this particular area, which is unlikely. But this is content that other people can watch and develop ideas from. And if you're out there videoing your jobs and talking about how you price jobs and the quality of the work that you do, then others that are looking for that type of work are going to see that. They already basically have interviewed you through your videos and know the quality of you as a person, but also the quality of your work. There are lots of guys on YouTube that do bush hogging or land clearing, and they do wonderful work, and you wouldn't have any reservation about hiring them because you can see everything that they're doing, and they've got huge followings because they are putting out great content and doing good work that you can respect. Even if they put out a really good video, if they did crappy work, no one's going to want to follow them because they're just bad at business. But these guys communicate well, they do great video, and they do quality work, and consequently people appreciate that, so they get huge followings. I mean, there's guys out there that do this stuff and have 500,000 or 1 million followers, and you see they put up a video 3 hours ago and they got 20,000 views. I mean, it's just incredible. So YouTube is a very powerful tool in setting up a YouTube channel for your business. So when you establish your Google My Business, you'll use that same information to establish a YouTube channel, and then you want to connect those things by using your YouTube videos on your Google My Business, in your social media, on your website. You're using this content repeatedly throughout your business, so you don't have to create 5 times as much content. Repurpose the content that you create. Just taking advantage of the time that you've invested in the first video to get the most out of it, just like taking advantage of driving time to get the most out of it and making a video along the way. So let's see, what else is there? Craigslist. You can post a service on Craigslist. It'll be $5 for 30 days. It's really a cheap way to get your name out there. Make sure you've got a good headline, good pictures, link to your website, your phone number. Don't make them go to your website to find your phone number. Put your phone number right in there. They can look at your videos and your photos and know right away that you're probably a good fit and pick up the phone and give you a call. So Craigslist has different markets. They don't just do like one global market. You have a market for Orlando and Tampa and Sarasota. They look at the major market segments and then they group content into those market segments. So look around your area and find which of those markets you want to advertise in. And for $5, you can get in those outside, the outside perimeter of your marketing area, that concentric circle that I talked about, and you could run Facebook ads out there because it's inexpensive, and maybe your price out there is a little bit higher because of travel and the commitment to go do a job out there. But you can expand your reach, and as your business grows, you're definitely going to want to expand your reach because you have to feed the machine of people and machinery and repairs and growth and insurance and benefits and all those things. So Facebook is another way of doing it. So that's what I have for you as far as getting your business started in marketing. I hope you find this helpful. I wish you the best of luck in getting your business started, your bush hogging business or land clearing business, or moving from bush hogging into land clearing, whatever you want to do. The business principles are the same, starting small and then working your way up, but maximizing your time and committing to the fact that your time is money. If you don't value your time, you'll never earn any money. So good luck to you, and we'll see you on the next video.